What's up, everybody? Welcome to Cracker Hunters. Today we're going to be doing our first ever podcast, our first actually true episode 1 podcast of Shooting the Shit.
And I am Anubis.
Yes, he is Anubis. I got Anubis here today, everybody. So today on our first podcast, we're going to be talking about something, man,
Near and dear to everybody
my goodness, fucking
that grew
yes.
up in the 90s.
Oh, I swear. We're going to be talking about the greatest animated show to ever be created on the face of this earth. Batman, the animated series.
Batman, the animated series. There's so much that goes with this show that's not even,
Oh.
it's not even fathomable.
Yeah, I agree. Now, full disclosure, we've been drinking. So, just be prepared for some...
Fucks and shit.
Yeah. Just some random shit that may come up because we've been drinking. But, yes, man. So, now you're like me. Like I grew up in I got the opportunity to grow up in the 80s and the 90s. Like
I know.
Yeah, so I got the best of both worlds. I got to experience both of that, all that shit.
I got the best of the best, though.
No. I'm sorry. 80s is the greatest generation ever walk this earth.
Maybe for
it's not.
Maybe for movies.
No, it's everything.
But
music.
Video games,
TV. Now, video games, I'll give you. Now, TV, I'll give you too.
Cartoons.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, I know. Both of us missed those.
Yeah, 80s is the best.
No, both of us missed the greatest cartoons. You know, like the fucking Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Wile E. Coyote. We missed all of that. But anyway.
Yeah, but anyways. So man, what was one of now, because you grew up around the time you got to grow up with. Because I was already
Batman,
about a teenager,
yeah.
You were about a little bit. You were younger than I was. So growing up with the animated series Batman, what stood out the most to you as you were watching it? If you can remember that far, I mean, because you're about 31, yeah. So what impacted you the most watching that show?
Batman. I mean,
well, besides Batman, but there's got to be something else.
Well, I mean, you know, you have the essence of the actual true. It kind of enveloped the comic books because I've been reading comic books ever since I could read.
Right.
You know, like that was what I started reading.
Right.
Was comic books, and it has always been Batman. And finally get something that can actually represent something like the comic books in a certain percentage wise.
Right.
I mean, all the movies that we see nowadays and shit like that. The comics really don't represent them as well.
Well, no, I disagree. I think the comics do, like, the older comics don't, but the newer ones from the 90s on, I think they represent Batman really good. Really well. I mean, honestly, I think that the 90s and 2000, everything from the 90s on is a good representation of what Batman should be.
Right. But, you know, this is a cartoon that's meant for children.
Yeah, go ahead.
That has a lot more adult themed.
It really
ideas.
does. And that's one of the reasons why I love that show so much is because it was a show meant for kids, but it didn't dumb down anything at all. Like it didn't dumb down any of it. And it brought adult things like, man, it like split personality, we know with Two-Face. Yeah. You know, and a lot of the tragedy that happened to Batman and even some of his villains, because when you look at the origin stories of like Clayface, Two-Face, and
Poison
Ivy, and people like that, you see a lot of the tragedy behind their backstories, and you get an understanding as to why they became the villains that they did.
Yeah, and like the accidents too, and how like even though that they're still the villain, Batman's still trying to help him.
Right, like especially with Two-Face.
Harvey Dent, or Kurt Langstrom, you know, Man-Bat.
Oh, yes.
You know, that was a full-on accident.
Yeah, exactly, but he did, it was, it wasn't an accident. He actually did it, because I have full disclosure.
I have the Man-Bat comics. So.
I have the Blu-ray.
I literally have the Man-Bat comics.
But in the show, it wasn't an accident. He did that on purpose.
Right.
You know, and he still tried to help him.
Right.
And that's one of the things I loved about that show, man. It just showed, like, Batman, like,
it took like the most adult themed content and
made it for kids.
Made it for children. And without dumbing it down.
No, they literally did not dumb anything down. Like, they literally made everything to where it was one of those cartoons. It was
explained so well.
And it was one of those cartoons that the parents and the kids could sit down and watch and have a discussion afterwards.
Right.
Like, because a lot of the themes, like, you couldn't understand as much as a kid. So that's why, and that's what the genius of that show is. A lot of the themes kids couldn't understand. So the parents who are watching them could sit down and have a discussion about what took place in those episodes. Like, that's why I love that. Like, that show, to me, that I've yet to see an animated show that really brought out conversations about, like mental health, violence, everything like Batman this animated series did. Like I said,
it didn't really have that kind of effect on me because my parents never really explained shit to me.
Oh, fair enough. But what I'm saying is the show itself
it did it well enough to where you could get it.
It encouraged it because, like I said, it's a show made for kids, but it's also mature enough to where adults can sit down and watch it. And then after the show ends, the kids are probably going to have questions. So they ask their parents, and the parents can explain the contents of that episode in the
appropriate manner.
Yeah, exactly, and just pertaining to that episode,
right,
to where they can just have a legitimate conversation about what took place.
I love
that fucking show, man.
It's kind of like what we would do. That's what I do with my kids.
Right.
When they watch a show like that, that's how they'll watch the show, and then after the episode ends, and then I'll explain it to them. I mean, that's exactly how how things should be.
So, man, I didn't realize you did that. I said, and that's the thing is, like, that's what made that show so amazing. And the voice casting is, I'm sorry,
out of this goddamn world.
There's never
Kevin Conroy is Batman,
and
Mark Hamill is
that's the Joker.
That's voice of the Joker.
I'm sorry, that's who. When I think of the Joker, like, don't get me wrong, I love Heath Ledger. We talked about the Joker a little while ago, a few weeks.
That's the difference between those.
But what I'm saying is
animated.
But what I'm saying is they still are the Joker too. But when anyone who grew up in the '90s, when you hear the Joker's name,
it's Mark Hamill.
That's Mark Hamill, the Batman animated series Joker. He was able to I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. But he was able to capture.
He's the embodiment of the Joker's voice.
His voice was just so. It was insane, and
perfect.
It was perfect. Like that voice.
That's it. It's just. That's all you can say.
But the thing is, everybody. Because I don't know the casting names of people like Poison Ivy.
Harley Quinn's always been the same. Always been the same blonde chick.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are the main names that everybody remembers.
Well, that's the main feud, though.
Right, it is.
That's the main basis of the show. It's always Batman and the Joker.
Right, but what I'm saying is, but the entire voice cast was fucking amazing. Everybody, it's like they took that.
There's only one that I didn't like.
Who didn't you like?
I didn't like Killer Croc.
I like Killer Croc.
I didn't like the way he looked. I didn't like the way.
Well, I could, but I can understand. Now I completely understand where you're coming from. But I also understand this was like Batman in the 30s and 40s. So I can understand where the art style, as far as the look of Killer Croc,
the simplistic look.
Yeah, exactly. So I can understand that. And the animation of that show, you can pop that show. Again, I've done it because I have the Blu-ray set. You can pop that show in at any time, and the animation is still crisp and amazing.
I'll tell you what, though. You know what I did? What I used to do, and I wish I still had it because I used to collect the toys for the animated series.
Right.
And I had all of them, as many as they had.
Right.
And I had doubles. Some that I could play, I could play with some, and then I put some up.
Okay.
But then again, next time when I moved, they all got gone. They all got lost. And it just kills me on the inside.
I can understand.
Because they were in the box and everything.
That'd probably be worth some money right now.
I know.
At least a little bit.
When I moved, it's like they fucking got lost in translation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I had fucking Batman, I had the Joker, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, everybody.
Penguin, Killer Croc. Even the one, Clayface, I had several Clayfaces.
And man, speaking of which, Clayface is one of the most tragic stories in that entire show. Like, when you think about it, because he didn't want to become Clayface. He got turned into it by
the mob.
Daggett. Yeah, I mean, by the mob.
Yeah.
It wasn't like something he chose to do. It was literally something got pressed upon him, and he had no control over it. Like, man, that show is so amazing.
They put that scene where they
pour that shit
down his throat. Dude,
it was brutal. Like that for a kid's show.
Even now it's still brutal.
Because
even for fucking adults now, man.
Right. I mean, they're holding him down while they're pouring that substance into his mouth, and they're trying to kill him. Yeah, and they're literally trying to kill him. But man,
that's another thing too that the show did. Oh, they didn't censor that.
No, because a lot of shows like in that time period, like X-Men and shows like that, when cops shot guns, they shot lasers. Now Batman, they were shooting fucking bullets. Yeah, they were trying to kill you,
dude. They got that. If you were looking at kids shows. And if you were trying to rate that shit, dude, that got a hard R rating.
No, honestly, for a kid's show, yeah. Because they were shooting actual bullets and actually trying to kill Batman.
Torturing people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they did with Clayface, Boris Karloff, something in that area. I can't remember. But they were fucking torturing his ass to death.
Yeah, exactly. Pouring that shit into his mouth.
And they made that a 2-part episode. And not to mention the movie, Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh, that fucking thing is so amazing.
Came out with the Mask of the Phantasm. And they brought in the World's Fair.
Yeah, but that's fucked up exactly. Shit. And man, that show was so amazing because of all the things that it did. Like, I think for me, it was way ahead of its time. Like, and I'll say this, because I'm one of these people. I guarantee you, people that were younger like X-Men better, but the older they got, the more they appreciated Batman the Animated Series.
I'll be honest, I was always more of a Batman the Animated Series more than I was fucking X-Men. I love X-Men.
Right. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was younger, I watched X-Men the Animated Series, which we're gonna do a podcast on that one too. But I watched X-Men the Animated Series more because I didn't appreciate all the stuff that was in Batman the Animated Series. As I got older,
well, anybody can appreciate that.
Right. But as I got older, I appreciated more of the themes that Batman dealt with in his series than X-Men did. X-Men, the animation was meh. It was
about the same as the animated series.
No, the fuck it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
You need to go back and watch it again. The fuck it wasn't.
I've got the DC app, so.
I'm going to tell you right now, the animation for Batman Animated Series is leagues above.
I think what it is where it's more crisp.
Derek. The animation for everything on the Batman Animated Series is leagues above the X-Men Animated Series. Leagues above.
Maybe I need to go back and watch
You need to go back because honestly, the X-Men animation, as much as I love that show, the animation does not hold up now. You go back and watch it like, it doesn't hold up as well.
Is it that bad?
It's not bad, but when you compare it to Batman the Animated Series, it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's what I'm comparing it to because I love both. Don't get me wrong. I love both of those shows.
The cool thing too that Batman the Animated Series did was the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that was a good relationship.
On how complicated it was.
It was because Batman was a vigilante. He wanted justice. He wanted to take all criminals to justice. But then again, man, that puss. Kyle. I'm sorry,
that
puss get you to thinking things that you ain't normally thinking.
When your dick gets hard, nothing makes sense.
I swear. Oh yeah, you're right. Nothing. Everything's thrown in. It's just discombobulated. Nothing makes sense like it used to. Like man. But that's another thing that they threw in there. The relationship between Selena Kyle and Batman. Like Catwoman. Selena Kyle.
Yeah, that is still the best Catwoman suit.
It is. And the crazy thing is, she didn't really give a shit about Bruce Wayne, but she loved Batman.
Oh yeah.
And Batman, and that was the dichotomy between Batman because he knew Catwoman was Selena Kyle.
Did you ever see that thing? It was like it's a comic book panel between Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and they all hold on to the lasso of truth. and Wonder Woman's like,
I'm Batman.
No, yeah. Wonder Woman's like, I am Diana Prince.
Superman's like, I'm Clark Kent.
Kal-El.
And Batman was like, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, but no, and that's the thing. That was the truth, because Bruce Wayne is his mask. That's his costume. That's his mask. Batman is Bruce Wayne's true identity. It's
Batman.
Yeah, Batman is what Bruce Wayne truly identifies as. So in his mind, he's telling the truth. And part of that, and honestly, when
he can't get away from Batman.
No, that's who he is. That's legitimately who Bruce Wayne is. He is Batman.
Yeah.
And Bruce Wayne is his mask, and Batman is his true identity. And that's crazy how that works.
What a badass.
But no, that shows the mental health. No one ever really talks about that, but that shows the mental health issues Batman has, because he identifies more as a costume vigilante than he does as an actual person.
You mean an ultimate badass?
I didn't say he wasn't a badass, but what I'm saying is that shows.
No, you said costume vigilante.
Well, that's what he is. Because let's be real.
Mean a badass.
He's a badass.
An ultimate badass.
But he still breaks the law. He still is. Even though that's one of the things that Batman struggles with, because he wants justice. He wants justice. He fights for justice, to bring criminals to put him in. I mean, he puts them in. You know what I'm saying.
Justice.
Forgive me for the drunken talk, but what I'm saying is that that's the dichotomy of Batman. Like, he knows it's wrong.
Duality.
It's duality.
Yeah.
Because it's breaking the law. But at the same time, in order to bring criminals to justice, he has to break the law.
Now, see, and that's what the show.
That's fucking amazing, man.
The show is, though. That's the fun about the show. And
because it deals with that. Because the cops.
Commissioner Gordon's on his side.
Yes, but in general, the cops.
The rest of them are not.
Well, no. The rest of them are kind of no. The rest of them are kind of because they understand what Batman is.
Right.
But the only one who sees through all of that and understands that he is a criminal, no matter what, because he's breaking the law, is what's his name? What's his name?
Ironheart? No.
No, not Ironheart. What's his name? Damn, I can't remember his fucking name. I'm fucking pissed off right now, everybody.
Yeah, I'm at a loss myself. It's probably.
I remember.
It's because I'm drunk.
Yeah. We're a little tipsy right now. But what's his name? What is his name?
Which one?
I can't remember.
Fat one?
Yeah, the fat one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
But
I think that's Ironheart, man.
No, it's not Ironheart. No, it's not Ironheart.
Yeah, I'm wrong.
But what I'm saying is that character sees through what everybody else doesn't see. He understands Batman. Regardless of the good he does, regardless of what he does for the cops, he is still a fucking criminal because he's breaking the law.
The thing is, though, it's the thing about the whole morality thing about the Batman the animated series is everything is black and white.
No, it's not black and white. It's gray. It is some gray.
Let me finish. The fight is between the gray area.
Right. Okay. Yes. Because Batman
is doing right,
but he's still a criminal.
But he's wrong.
You're right.
He's the gray area. But the show tells you, and specifically tells you, right and wrong.
Yeah, because
it's black and white.
Right.
And there's a gray area that none of us really want to admit that's there.
Right, because Batman's a criminal. He breaks the law.
But
it's
still,
plain and simple. But
the good that he does
exactly helps the city out. But the thing is, are we willing to accept?
Does it help the city out?
Exactly. Because there was an episode.
He's kind of bringing on a lot of the criminals.
Well, no, but they actually, and you know what? That's why I love this show, because they deal with that in a specific episode where that woman, the lawyer, defends Batman. Because that's what the criminals say.
Harvey Dent did too.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, in the animated series, there's a specific episode.
I might have to rewatch that too.
But there's a specific episode where they deal with that specific incident, that specific case, because the lawyer believes no matter what, Batman's a criminal. No matter what. but the criminals say Batman is the one who's creating us, and she has to defend Batman because the criminals kidnap her and Batman, and she has to defend him, saying that he is not the cause of what they're doing. And she understands at the end of the episode where she understands that Batman is not the cause, because she believes that Batman is the cause of the criminals. But she understands at the end of the episode that Batman is not causing this. The criminals are going to be criminals no matter what.
They're just not going to be as good.
But
or as they won't have as much panache.
But she understands that by the end of the episode that Batman's not the cause of this. She wants to fight for a future where Batman's no longer needed, and even Batman says, "So am I." And that's the thing, is like that's the complexity that they deal with in a children's show.
There's even more than that, though, because he says "so am I," but he doesn't really mean it.
No, he means it. No.
I mean, he's always going to be Batman.
Well, no, I think he wants to fight for a city that doesn't need him either, and that's what he's saying. And that's what makes this show so great, is they deal with complex themes like that, like the gray area, like you were saying, where yes. He's breaking the law.
Vigilantism.
Yeah, it's against the law. But at the same time, he's still trying to bring criminals to justice and helping the city. And that's what, man, that show, as a kid, you don't appreciate how complex that show is. That show is actually so complex in the themes that it deals with. And what I appreciate is they don't dumb it down.
That's the best part about the show.
It really is. They don't dumb it down.
I think the only thing that they ever really kind of dumbed down is the Poison Ivy character. The Pamela
No, I don't think so either. Because Batman still, regardless of what she thinks, because what she thinks is right, she's fighting for environmental protection in a nutshell. But
yeah, that's right. He does say that you're going about. He's like, I believe in what you're doing. You're just going about it the wrong way.
No matter what, you're still committing crimes. You're still breaking the law.
The wrong way.
Exactly. You're still breaking the law, and I still have to bring you to justice. No matter whether or not I agree with what you're saying, I still have to bring you to justice because you still trying to murder.
Yeah, you're
people.
still going about it the wrong
exactly.
way.
You're still exactly, and for me, like I said, man, that's what makes this show so amazing, is the complexities it deals with in the form of a children's cartoon.
And it also brought us a new character.
Who?
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because Harley Quinn didn't exist until that show.
Yeah, they made her just for the show.
And also it shows the complexities of the relationship between her and the Joker.
The abusive relationship.
Because he is fucking abusive to her. But it shows like she loves him, but he doesn't give a fuck about her. He's a fucking psychopath. Well,
you're absolutely right.
No.
Right.
That's the crazy thing. He does care about her. Whether we want to admit it or not, he does care about her.
Well, he's an agent.
He doesn't want anyone. He doesn't want anyone to have her because that he considers her his.
Well, he's an agent of chaos, so I mean,
he is. But we can't use. You're using the terminology from the movie.
I don't know, dude. I still think Mark Hamill put that pretty clear.
Joker is a fucking psychopath in that show. Like he's just about committing. He's just fucking doing whatever. He loves committing crimes. He loves being, agent of chaos. Yeah, you're
so,
right.
I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, you can't really. I mean, it's basically the same. It's really complicated. I just pushed it, but I mean, it's a really complicated show, and
it really is.
It's really hard to dissect.
Honestly, that is a comp. As an adult, you can see the complexities in that show.
As an adult, you're fucking scratching your head.
Like, damn, this show was that deep.
Then as a child, you're watching it and you're like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome.
Exactly. As a child,
Batman fight bad
exactly.
guys.
That's what you see as a child. But as an adult, you begin to understand the complexities of that. Yeah. But you begin to understand the complexities of that show.
Oh, yeah.
And everything that they dealt with, like I said, mental health, abusive relationships, everything like that. they dealt with in that show.
Mental health, I think, was a big thing in that show.
It was because
like the main thing.
And the one that brought that to the forefront was Harvey Dent's episode.
Joker.
Well, no.
Harvey Dent
No.
Yeah,
but the main one that brought it to the forefront
that actually literally said it.
Yes, was Harvey Dent's episode because he was already dealing with split personality before he became Two-Face.
Well, and he was looking at like the duality of the law.
No.
How should I prosecute? Even
no. In the show, he had split personality because remember in the show, he had hurt that dude, and when he was younger, he had hurt the kid so much to where he didn't want to be angry anymore because he understood that angry would be hurt, even though he didn't understand completely that the kid had something else. But he punched him, and the kid went into the hospital. So in his mind, as a kid, he didn't want to do that anymore. He wanted to completely control his anger and his emotions. So he sucked it all in and didn't let it out. And over time, that manifested into Bad Harvey and
Two-Face.
No. At the time, before the accident, it was just Bad Harvey. I know these episodes, everybody. I love that fucking show. He was Bad Harvey at that time because the kid, Harvey did as a kid didn't understand that the kid that he punched actually only got injured. He didn't even get injured. He had I forgot what he had. Appendicitis. That's what it was. He had appendicitis. That's why he was actually in the hospital. But at the time,
Harvey thought he did it.
Harvey thought he did it. So that's why he wanted to completely shelter himself and push off his emotions or completely control them. And over time, that's what manifested into Bad Harvey. So when the accident happened, Bad Harvey it split him in two. Good Harvey and Bad Harvey. God, I love that fucking show.
Yeah,
man.
but it wasn't an accident that did it.
Well, no, I know. It wasn't an accident, but what I'm saying is...
The Roman did it.
Who?
The Roman.
No, not the Roman. It was...
Yeah, it was.
It was not the Roman. In the cartoon, it wasn't. Remember, it was... What was his name? It was the mobster. I can't remember his name.
The Roman.
It was not the Roman in the cartoon.
Give me a second. I'll think of it. I know both of their names. God damn it. There's the Roman and then there's the other one.
It was Rupert Thorne. Rupert Thorne. That's who. Yeah, it was Rupert Thorne. That's who you're thinking of in the cartoon.
No, the Roman was in
probably in the comic books.
No, Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay, yeah,
that's what made her.
But in the comic books, it was Rupert Thorne. So, but that's one of the amazing things of this show is being able to deal with such complex themes in a children's show. Because this show was an animated series for kids.
Yeah, it was on the WB network.
It's like
the Warner Brothers network.
And that's what's crazy is that it's like the people who created the show had the foresight to understand.
Valconi.
That's
Mask of the Phantasm.
No, that's the Dark Knight from the movie Valconi.
Yeah, I know, but he's also the Roman.
I don't know. You may be right. I don't know. I'm just saying as far as
Carmine Valconi.
Right, but yeah. I'm just saying I'm putting it into the context of the show itself.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the Mask of the Phantasm.
Right.
Carmine Valconi is the one who killed the masks, the Phantasms.
One we're forgetting, one we have not even mentioned yet, is Mr. Freeze. Like Mr. Freeze.
Sub-Zero?
No.
The movie Sub-Zero?
No. Just the animated. I'm just talking about the animated series.
Victor Freeze.
Yes, and just in the context of the show, he's a tragic character because he's just trying to save his wife,
Nora.
Yeah, and then the owner of that company comes in, shuts everything down, and
he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly, because of the owner of the company and made him into Mr. Freeze. Like that's the thing about a lot of the characters in.
He's just trying to get enough money to
save his wife. Yeah, and that's the thing about the show. Like It shows
that's that gray area.
Exactly, and it shows you. What I love about that is it shows you how these characters become the villains that that we know today.
The thing is, though, is Mr. Freeze really isn't really a villain. He's just kind of trying to do.
But eventually, he becomes a villain.
He does whatever it fucking takes.
Right,
he's doing whatever it takes.
But no matter what, he's still a villain because he breaks the law.
I don't know, man. I would do the same. I would do the same.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying. But that's what I'm saying about the show. We understand why he's doing what he's doing, and a lot of us can relate to that. But at the end of the day, Batman understands as well. But at the end of the day, he's still breaking the law because he's still trying to get revenge and kill people.
But then again, Batman is also still trying to help Victor.
Mm-hmm. I'm not disagreeing with that.
No, I mean, that's the way it is. That's the way it is in the show, too.
But he's still trying to kill people. He's still committing crimes. And Batman still has to bring him to justice.
And he's got the squad.
Yeah, he does. And
I'm not really sure.
That fucking show, I think that show is probably one of the most, no one talks about it enough, but that's why that show is one of the most important shows in animated TV history.
And you know, that's also there's also another thing that we haven't mentioned is that it's the one that rightly depicts Alfred.
Oh, man. Yes.
It depicts Alfred the way he is in the comic book.
And because
smart ass.
Yeah, because Alfred's a smart ass and a
bad
badass
motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
But he's a bad motherfucker.
But he's a sarcastic motherfucker, though.
Sarcastic. Not only that, but you know what his number one weapon is? It's a shotgun.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well,
one day we're gonna do a podcast on the Batman animated movies too. I'm gonna do that one too because
I don't know. We've been kind of talking. There's only two of them.
No,
Sub-Zero.
No. I'm not Batman. The DC animated movies. I can't wait to talk about that. But that show is so important. Like, I don't think people understand the importance of that show. Well, a lot of us who grew up with it understand its importance, but a lot of people who grew up after that don't understand the importance of Batman the Animated Series. That show, it was the catalyst for a lot of other shows that come out after it.
Actually, name one.
There's not another show that's good as that.
There's
not. There's really not.
There is no catalyst.
What I'm saying is the themes in the show.
I think it's one of a kind, and I think that's exactly.
It is one of a kind. That is the.
I mean, if you're one of a kind, there's no way to be a catalyst. Name one other show that's even remotely as deep and awesome as
Rick and Morty. When you think
that's not for children.
But no, what I'm saying.
That's not for children.
For children, okay, I see what you're saying. For children, I know one. Adventure Time. We're going to do a podcast on that. A lot of people don't understand.
That's a good point.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the complexities behind Adventure Time. We see the cute shit that goes on, but Adventure Time owes a lot to Batman the Animated Series because all the complexities it puts in its show that Batman put in its show before it.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Like, there would never be to this day, there has never been an animated show that has dealt with all the things that Batman the Animated Series dealt with in a way that was...
Well, see, that's another thing though. Adventure Time can't do that because
yes, it can. It did not.
No, it did not because
it did. Yes, have you watched a lot of episodes of Adventure Time?
All the time.
If you look at it,
I have
like with the Ice King, the Ice King is a perfect example of the complexity. When you see the complexities behind that character, you don't see it at first.
That's not relatable though.
Yes, it is.
It's on a different.
What I'm saying is
realistic. I guess.
What I'm saying is that it owes a lot to Batman the Animated Series because a lot of it dealt with adult themes in an animated form.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, okay. What the fuck are we talking about then?
I'm talking about how Adventure Time is not really realistic.
It's not.
But Batman the Animated Series is because you see Batman bleed.
You do. Yes, hurt. Exactly.
Everything.
You see Batman deal with a lot. Like
That's what I'm saying. It's about realism.
Okay, okay. I get what you're saying.
Catch
now.
what I'm throwing?
Yeah, I do. I am now. Now, what was your favorite? If you can pick out one, what was your favorite episode of the Batman the Animated Series? If you can pick out one, I'm not saying you can, but if you can, what would be the one that you really pick out as one of your favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series?
I'll be honest, dude. I really can't pick out my favorite episode, but Mask of the Phantasm is.
But that's a movie, though. It's connected. Don't get me wrong. It's connected to the animated series. But the animated series, I want to know your favorite episode. If you can think of it. If you can't, that's fine.
I think the Two-Face.
That's fucking
the parts. The
two-part. Yeah, that's a good one. That's honestly one I would easily put that in the top 5 best episodes of Batman animated series. For me, I probably would pick.
Or the Clayface episode.
Yeah, man, it's such a good episode.
The origin of the Clayface.
Yeah, that's such a good episode. It really is. Or two episodes.
They fucked him up.
They did.
Real good.
They did. I would say probably for me, my favorite episode probably would be it would be a tie between the two-parter of Two-Face and the two-parter of Harvey Dent.
Oh, when Harvey Dent was a kid?
No. When Harvey Dent became Two-Face.
You just said the same thing twice.
No. I said Clayface.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would probably be a tie between Clayface and Two-Face. Their origins in a nutshell.
Okay, so exactly what I said.
Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
So
that show was so important, man.
It really kind of is, though. I mean,
it's important. People don't talk about. I don't think people talk about Batman the Animated Series as much as it should be, as far as its importance to the animated scope of everything that came afterwards, as far as dealing with mature themes in an animated form. Because Batman was the originator of that. Because if you think about it, all the animated shows before that were just kid shows. Didn't deal with anything serious. We were always kiddie and didn't really.
I don't know, man.
Name one right now to deal with truly adult themes like mental health and murder.
The Muppets.
The Muppets didn't deal with that shit.
Yes, they did. They did. They didn't deal with murder, but they dealt with discrimination.
Okay. I can give you that. I can truly give you that. Yeah, I can give you that.
They didn't deal with something as serious as murder, but they did deal with something along that lines about discrimination.
Right. I can agree with that.
But the point is, though, like we were saying, about dealing with adult content in a kid's form. Yes, the Muppets did it very well. But Batman the Animated Series did it better.
No, Batman is the originator of all that. Like no one.
No, you're looking at dark themes.
No, I'm looking at adult themes. Like I said, just themes that deal with mental health, murder, injured and
dark. Yeah, that you know how dark that is, man.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's dark. I would say that's just
life.
Life, exactly. That's not dark. That's life.
But then again, beside the point,
I know it's such a complicated show.
I can't really pinpoint it right now, though. I mean, it's such a good show. You asked the question and I answered about what other show. That's kind of all that's going through my mind right now.
No, and that's fair enough. And like I said, that's the complex nature of Batman the Animated Series is that it dealt with such complex themes in the form.
I feel like that it dealt with more dark themes.
It did, but when you say dark, that's adult themes for a child, because remember at the end of the day, that is a children's animated show, but it dealt with themes that most adults wouldn't actually wouldn't actually
Watch or-
wouldn't actually discuss with their kids, especially with
The
mental-
show kind of made that happen.
Well, but that's what I'm saying, and it didn't deal like. How often are we going to talk about mental health with our kids? Let's be real. We're not going never. But Batman in that show forces you to have to deal with it and does it in a way to where it's not disrespectful. It's very respectful of what, like especially Harvey Dent, what he went through that made him into what he became. And Batman the Animated Series forced you to have to talk to your children about that. Like it didn't sugarcoat it. It didn't sugarcoat it at all. It dealt with it in an open forum
Didn't sugarcoat it, and it didn't dumb it down.
It did not.
That was
the
most. I think that's the most important part of the show. Is
that's
it did
that's
not
the most
dumb it down.
Yes, that's for me, for Batman the Animated Series. That's the most important part of that show is that it did not dumb anything down,
And it explained it.
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly.
It explained it well enough to where a child would understand.
I think it did too, but at the same time, it explained it to it explained
It gave you the opportunity as a parent.
to talk to your children, and that's what made it so awesome. It gave you the opportunity to sit down, talk to your children, and discuss what that episode was about.
Talk about real problems.
Yes,
with
real problems.
people.
Yes, and man, that's why for me, I've yet to see an animated show that does that. I've yet to see one. I'm not seeing one yet that forces you to talk to your kids in a way that they can understand.
And that's where we have to end it.
You think want to end it now? All right. Well, like I said, and that's one of the things that we just want to talk about, man, because we love that show so much. I don't mind ending it here because, okay,
We've pointed out every point
both-
that we can get.
Yeah, and we pointed
Everything
out,
else is just repetitive.
exactly, and we pointed out our favorite episodes as well. So yeah, everybody. So we appreciate you joining us, man, because we want to know in the comment section. Let us know what your favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series was and why. Why was it your favorite episode? And do you agree with us that Batman the Animated Series is the greatest animated show to ever exist in
Period.
I think it is.
I agree.
I don't think there's ever an animated show that will ever top Batman as far as dealing with the subject matter in a way that kids can understand.
Right.
Yes. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed our first episode of our official Shooting the Shit podcast. So I hope you enjoyed episode 1. Let us know, man, what your favorite episode of Batman the Animated Series was, and if you agree with us that it is the greatest animated show of all time.
And in the comment section, why don't you can feel free to leave us any suggestions.
Yes, please do.
We'll talk about it.
What you want us to talk about in the future, Shooting the Shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We don't give a shit.
We don't even give a fuck.
But thank y'all for joining us today, man. We'll talk to y'all another time. We'll join us for episode 2. We don't know what it's going to be about, but fuck it, we'll talk about it. Yes. But thank y'all for joining us, man. I'm Carolina Hitman.
I'm Anubis.
We'll see y'all next time. Peace.